Hello, bow tie security guy here. Extra video for January. I had told myself I'd post at least one piece of content per week. Unfortunately, it seems that January has 5 weeks, so very annoying for me. But you get an extra video. So, this is the oatmeal versus chocolate chip story. This is a story about people overreacting to what executives say. I am an executive. I always try to be very, very clear with my team when I ask a question that I'm just curious about, that this is not a directive. This should not spin up a project. This shouldn't create more work. But a lot of times, as an executive, you'll say something and you'll just be kind of curious about something, and it'll turn into a huge amount of workload. I have been the brunt of that workload for many times in my career, but this story particularly came from Disney. Um, an executive, doesn't matter who, was touring the parks. They were walking down Main Street and they saw the little confectionery place, and they said, "I wonder how many oatmeal versus chocolate chip cookies they sell." Previously, this wasn't necessarily a metric that they had got, but this spun up a several month project where they got cookie analytics and a bunch of data for oatmeal versus cookie sales, profitability, a bunch of different things that they may not have fully calculated before. Several months go by. The executive comes back in town and they say, "Hey, boss man, let me show you what we've gotten you about the oatmeal cookie question that you had." And the executive kind of looks around. The story was told to me from a friend. I was not there. But the executive kind of looks around and he goes, I'm sorry, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And they go, "Well, when you were walking down Main Street, you had said you were curious how many, cookies versus oatmeal or chocolate chip cookies versus oatmeal that we sell. And here's the breakdown of the data. Here's the analytics. Here's a 3 or 5 year trend." Uh, and he just kind of takes a step back and he goes, "Yeah, I was just curious." You didn't spend any work on this. And they're like, "No, no, it was a, quick, easy thing to put together." Reality was it wasn't. It was weeks and weeks of work. I personally have been involved in situations like that, and I've kind of skipped over my boss and gone directly to the executive and go, "Do you really need this, or were you just curious?" And many times they say they're just curious. So as a leader, if your executive is telling you something, ask them the level of urgency that should be applied to it. Ask them how important this is, or what, whether this is something critical or if this is just something they're just curious about. Many times you'll just kind of spout stuff off. You're just going through stuff. Like I'll throw out ideas when we're working an issue, and unfortunately, due to title, sometimes what I say carries more weight than it actually should. I've learned this because I've been the victim of it, but a lot of executives have been career executives for so long, they've kind of forgotten that. So you just have to remind them their words have weight. And when they ask for something, even though it's just something trivial to them, many people will not challenge an executive or say, "Hey, is this what you really mean? Or do you actually need this for this?" Or they won't even ask the question of, "Why do you need this?" They'll just say, "Yes, sir, we're on it," which is, I guess I can understand the mentality a little bit, but I really don't want a team where people just agree with the stupid crap that I say all the time and just kind of smile and nod when I tell them a direction. I would much rather have a contemplative team that kind of thinks things through and challenges ideas and challenges the why of we're doing things. Because if you don't, you're going to end up in a situation where you're going to spend multiple weeks trying to figure out how many chocolate chip cookies versus oatmeal cookies sold. And you're going to end up with just results that nobody truly cares about and a lot of wasted work. So I implore you, when your executive asks you to do something, challenge it in a non-confrontational way. "Hey, boss, no problem. We can get this for you. we have a lot of stuff going on right now. What priority level should we assign to this? How critical is it? And what is the end result? What are you trying to accomplish with this data? Just so I can make sure I get you the proper information that you need to be successful. That's a great way to respond to that question. I would love to hear that. And I hear it all the time because my team has kind of been coached on like, just because I say something doesn't mean to do it. It's just, I'm throwing stuff out there sometimes. So, but like, I love hearing that. Like, hey, do you need this? What level of criticality does this? What should I apply to this? Is this kind of a drop everything type scenario? Because many times that'll have us stop and think because as executives, we're kind of everything's going through our head at once. We're kind of balancing multiple things, budgets, employees, personnel issues, all kinds of different things, and also strategizing as we do all that stuff on top of it. So many times we just don't stop and think. So if we have that opportunity where you kind of say, hey, pump the brakes a bit, why do you need this? And then explain what the goal is and what you're trying to accomplish. Many times they'll go, yeah, no, I mean, get to it when you get to it. It's a nice to have, it's not critical. And then you know now to apply the right amount of criticality to it. Sure, you'll want to get it to them, but it's not really serious. And it's one of those things that they'll probably not really stress about if it doesn't get done anytime soon. But it's something you want to get done at some point, but you don't want to spin up a whole project and then provide a bunch of data that nobody cares about. That's one of my favorite stories of kind of what I call executive waste, where we as executives end up creating a whole bunch of waste in time just because we asked a question and we were curious about something. And the person who took that question took it at face value, didn't challenge it, and just said, yes, sir, we're on it. Which is, again, I understand that mentality. There's a lot of executives that don't want you to question or challenge anything. But the right ones do. They don't want you wasting time or hours doing stuff that is absolutely pointless when they were just curious about something. So that's all I got. I thought that was a fun story. It's one of my favorites. I've retold many, many times because I've seen it happen. Where we get spun up on multiple things and we'll spend weeks and weeks and weeks and we go back to the director, VP or whatever, and we go, here's what we got. And they go, what is this for? Refresh my memory. That's all I got. Good luck out there.